Welcome to the series on minimal viable product challenges and risk. I've seen companies start with an MVP, then either get stuck starting or fail in the launch. Hello, I'm Patrick Miller, and today I will share some common MVP challenges so that you can avoid them and make it happen. Learning something new always comes with pain, like learning the kiteboard. Many companies are afraid to try or try again after a bad experience. Fear prevents them from acquiring new capability and enjoying the benefits. A minimum viable product has many benefits. Earlier feedback so you can build what customers want and need, optimize your investment, and produce a better product. The challenge is it requires a different mindset and new ways of working. Let's discuss some of the challenges I've encountered and how you can avoid them. A minimum viable product requires a new mindset. Launching something less than complete, it's very uncomfortable for many companies. To overcome this fear, launch with a small group of sympathetic users who are eager to co-create with you. Also, spending money where the outcome and future investment is unknown, it's a real struggle for many leaders. Do not think of it as a fixed price project, but as a mini product starting with a test, a learning cycle, and an ongoing product development cost. You must have an experimental mindset. Defining what you are testing and not testing is a critical first step to defining your minimum required features. Build a culture that rewards risk-taking, values curiosity and experimentation, and sees early failure as a benefit. Different people from different departments will have different ideas about what is important. Fear of failure due to missing features tempts the team into including extra functionality, and soon, minimal, it's not so minimal. You need to be clear and concise on what you're testing, and only include functionality that is needed to test your hypothesis. On the other side, sometimes the initial minimum viable product, it's too minimalistic, or in your rush to start testing and release a buggy product, resulting in poor customer experience. Both of these cloud user feedback giving you false signals. So make sure your minimum viable product feature set is enough to address the problem, is easy to use, and works flawlessly. A little extra time can make the difference between an artificial failure and a successful start. Using real customer feedback to drive product evolution, it's the whole purpose of starting with an MVP. So before you even start, know how you will collect feedback or don't even start. Also, many fail to collect feedback in a structured way and struggle to make sense of it. Naturally, the feedback, it's amazing, because they only hear what they want to hear. It is important to evaluate positive feedback, and it is more important to evaluate negative feedback and understand what is behind it. And it is also important to track from what type of user or user persona the feedback comes from. Mapping feedback against your target audience helps you know what is really important and prioritize product feature evolution. Failing this, and you risk developing features for a subset of your audience, not your target user base. So collect and analyze feedback in a structured way to improve your MVP results. You need to evaluate quantitative and qualitative feedback. Quantitative feedback is something you can easily measure, like users, usage, and purchases, for example. And qualitative feedback provides insight into how users feel. Is it useful? Easy to use, for example. Then evaluate the combined feedback. If both quantitative and qualitative feedback are good, then great. If quantitative feedback is low and qualitative feedback is high, then you need to ask, is the problem you're addressing big enough? Are you targeting the right audience, and do you have the right business model? If quantitative feedback is high but qualitative feedback is low, then you need to improve the feature set and user experience. If both quantitative and qualitative feedback is low, then you need to examine everything and even consider stopping. The important thing is to understand the why behind the feedback. And the second thing is to be unbiased and honest in your evaluation. So analyze both quantitative and qualitative feedback, understand the why, and be honest. You need to start with a flexible foundation that has capability to support evolution. Often a minimal viable product is misunderstood to be a proof of concept or a prototype. A proof of concept and prototype are useful for determining if a product can be built, but a minimum viable product is used to determine if a product should be built. The platform should be solid enough to support the initial stages of discovery, but also flexible enough to absorb changes resulting from feedback. A rigid foundation makes future evolution difficult and slow, and also often results in buggy solutions and poor user experience. Neither of these is good and causes you to lose focus and momentum. From my experience, starting with a flexible service-based platform where the user interface is decoupled from the back-end logic and storage makes it easier to evolve the user interface in parallel with adding richer end-to-end functionality while maintaining high quality. Here's what you need to remember. You need to have an MVP mindset and a culture that values experimentation. And start with only the functionality required to test, no more and no less. And collect feedback in a structured way, then honestly evaluate and use it to drive decisions. Start with a flexible technical foundation so you can evolve in multiple directions with high quality. I would love to hear your experience. Let me know in the comments what's worked and not worked for you. We specialize in providing digital advisory services, dedicated high-performance teams, and business prototyping. Our advisory services have been successful in helping companies analyze their feedback and make the right decisions on where to go next. Contact me to learn more. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go make it happen.